This broadcast is brought to you in part by Coca-Cola of Tupelo, Davis Ford, Family Pharmacy of Fulton, First American National Bank, First National Bank Pontotoc, Itawamba Loans, Jesco Incorporated, McDonald's of Monroe, Chickasaw, Lee, and Pontotoc counties, Mid-South Fine Printers, Peppers at Crosstown in Tupelo, Rehab at Work, RJ's Eatery, State Farm Agent Rich Potter in Tupelo, and Trustmark Bank.
This is Will Kohlmeyer. Welcome you back to ICC football with head coach John Williams. Don't forget, this Thursday night, ICC travels to East Central down in Decatur, a different time for this kickoff. It'll be a 6:10 airtime with the Davis Ford pregame show and that First American National Bank opening kickoff 6:30 ICC at East Central. Looking back to last Thursday night, we talk about on this third segment on your show each week some of our individual honors. And we'll start with the Trustmark Bank star of the game. Boy, I mean, D'Angelo Henry had a big game. Andy Wilson threw for almost 300 yards, but
you know, I'm going to say the star of the game has got to be our punter and kicker, Will Goodwin. Their return guy, their main return guy, was the most dangerous guy we saw on film, Steve McNair Jr. You know, and we felt like if we could keep the ball away from him in the special teams, we would have a chance. You know, and Will did just a great job of punting the ball away from him and kicking it away from him. I think he touched the ball one time in special teams, and that was a sigh of relief for us as a coaching staff. You know, there's a lot of things you can do as a coach, but one thing, there's not a whole lot you can coach against speed. And he definitely possessed that speed and quickness that we didn't want to let him get loose. So I would have to say Will was our star of the game in terms of him keeping the ball away from number one, Steve McNair Jr.
So Will Goodwin, the freshman out of Starkville Academy, our Trustmark Bank star of the game. You know, you talk about Will Goodwin. Let's go right into our ICC Spotlight, brought to you by First National Bank in Pontotoc. Will Goodwin, not only is he a kicker and a punter for the ICC Indians, he also plays on head coach Mike Sullivan's Indian soccer team. They had a big win last week against Meridian. Meridian, as always, year in and year out, loaded in soccer, but that was a big win for Will. And in fact, Will had a goal in that game.
Yeah, Will and I talked about it, and I'm so proud for Will and Coach Sullivan. Coach Sullivan does a fine job with his soccer troops, and of course Will's a part of that. It's a unique situation for us. We share Will, so you know, it's each day we send for Will, and we call it his limo ride. So we'll send a golf cart with a manager to go get Will and bring him to football practice for 10-minute segments. So Coach Sullivan has been very gracious in working with us on that, and you know, we're excited to have him part of our team, but also excited to watch him play soccer as well.
Well, and speaking of soccer, one other nugget on that First National Bank in Pontotoc ICC Spotlight. Congrats to Mike Sullivan's Lady Indian soccer team. They picked a great time to get their first win of the year. It was the division opener against Holmes. So that wraps up that ICC Spotlight, brought to you by First National Bank in Pontotoc. Now, of course, they call football across the pond there, but let's get back to the American version of football. And how about our Davis Ford drive of the game last week against Pearl River?
Well, you know, late in the first quarter, I felt like we put together a pretty good drive that culminated in a D'Angelo Henry touchdown. You know, about a 7-play drive, you know, and we wound up finding D'Angelo on a what was just a routine route that, again, he made something special happen with. So it was a great way to open up the scoring right there and show them that we had a threat.
Well, there's no question. That was a big play, too. That made it 14-7 at that point. Now our Matt Perry Insurance Agency in Fulton play of the game. Matt Perry Insurance Agency in Fulton, one of our new sponsors this year. How about the play of the game? There were several to choose from. What do you think, Coach?
I'm going to have to go with D'Angelo Henry again. You know, his 75-yard touchdown reception from Andy Wilson. Again, a routine route that he just made something special happen.
So that 75-yard pass from Andy Wilson to D'Angelo Henry was our Matt Perry Insurance Agency in Fulton play of the game. We're going to take a short time out, and when we come back, we'll talk about the big game this Thursday at East Central. But first, how about another chance for you to win some free barbecue from Rick's Barbecue in Fulton? Of course, last Thursday night, we weren't able to enjoy the ICC All-American Band, obviously down in Poplarville. This one kind of has a band theme. Can you name the band among the 15 community colleges in the state that's the largest again this year? Who has the largest band in the state among the 15 community colleges in Mississippi? And if you've got that answer, give me a call at 862-8274. Chance for you to win some free barbecue from Rick's Barbecue in Fulton. More of ICC football with John Williams right after this.